Alright, let's just dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a medical case that is equal parts bizarre, hilarious, and honestly, a massive lesson in chemistry and human psychology. It's the story of the forbidden cherry lemonade. We're going to break down the highly questionable choices of a 26-year-old man. Let's call him AC. AC was a guy who made a desperate, spiteful attempt to literally force his own human evolution by drinking something you should absolutely never, ever ingest.
Now, to understand why AC made such a wildly bad decision, we have to look at his motivation. It really all boils down to a feeling you might know all too well. 90% of all of these calls should be an email, right? If you've ever worked a remote corporate job, you are probably nodding your head right now. AC was dealing with some severe corporate burnout. Since everything shifted to working from home, he found himself just completely zoning out on endless daily calls that felt like total nonsense. And to make matters worse, he had to sit there and watch his peers move up the corporate ladder while he was completely stuck at the starting line, getting nothing but false hope from his manager.
Section 1. The Quest for Ascension.
AC felt totally trapped. His current reality was this miserable, mundane loop where he existed just to, as he put it, pump someone else's stock price. He grew to absolutely despise big companies. So, to cope with this, he developed a new, totally deadpan, and honestly irrational goal. He decided he was going to ascend. Literally. He convinced himself he had this higher purpose and that he was destined to reach a higher evolutionary level, way above his coworkers. So what actually pushed him over the edge to try and ascend? Well, right around Halloween, AC's workplace sent out these little car emergency kits, and inside was a pack of standard glow sticks. Right on the label, it had that incredibly obvious warning: do not puncture or cut and do not drink or ingest. But to AC, in his deeply spiteful, anti-corporate headspace, this was a personal attack. He was so offended that a label dared to tell him what to do that he actually went out to a store and bought 6 more glow sticks just to stick it to Big Glow Stick. I mean, you literally can't make this stuff up.
Section 2. The Forbidden Cherry Lemonade.
Okay, so here's how this absolute disaster played out. AC bites down, snaps all 6 glow sticks to light them up, and just straight up drinks the glowing juice inside, fully expecting some sort of magical evolutionary elixir. But instant regret. The second the stuff hit his tongue, it started burning a hole right down his throat. He's feeling these tiny shards of plastic scratching the back of his mouth, and his hands are covered in this incredibly weird, greasy film. And the most tragically funny part, he was genuinely disappointed it didn't taste like blue raspberry. Well, hours go by and he's hit with severe insomnia, awful nausea, and he's just dry heaving in his bathroom. Finally, he gives up on his ascension and does what anyone would do: he calls 911.
Section 3. Inside the chemical cocktail.
So AC gets to the ER, and doctors find him in mild distress. But here's the wild part. Glow stick fluid generally isn't acutely toxic. There's not a lot of evidence showing that the chemicals making that temporary glow cause sudden mortality. Now, don't get me wrong, the little glass vials or plastic shards inside the stick, those are a massive choking hazard. But the liquid itself probably isn't going to kill you instantly. Though, as we're about to see, you absolutely do not want it inside your body.
Let's break down exactly what AC just drank. It's basically a 3-part chemical cocktail. First, you've got the dyes. Sure, they look cool, but they are severe mucous membrane irritants. That is exactly why AC's mouth, nose, and stomach were completely on fire. Second, hydrogen peroxide. Chugging a big concentrated bottle of that is bad news, but the tiny amount in a glow stick is just mildly toxic. And third, phthalates. These are chemicals used to make plastics nice and bendy, which perfectly explains why that liquid felt so incredibly oily and gross on his hands.
But here is the real hidden danger. Because of their specific shapes, those phthalates act as endocrine disruptors. Basically, these are chemicals that can hijack your body's hormone systems, potentially messing with your cellular activity and causing long-term, totally undesired changes in your body. So yeah, while AC survived the night, the long-term cellular impact of literally drinking liquid plastic, that's a total medical unknown. It's basically a giant puzzle.
Section 4. Emergency First Aid Steps.
You know, state poison centers get flooded with calls around the 4th of July and Halloween because kids just love chewing on these things. Or maybe you're at a club and someone accidentally drops a cracked stick into a drink. If you ever find yourself dealing with this, here are the exact actionable steps you need to take. Step 1, rinse it out. If the liquid gets in the mouth, eyes, or on the skin, wash it with water for a solid 15 minutes. Step 2,
If it accidentally gets swallowed, eat a small snack and drink some water. Nausea is super common with these irritants, so you really want to settle the stomach. Step 3, call poison control. Oh, and let me be crystal clear here. If someone bites a stick and is actively choking on plastic or glass, do not wait. That is an immediate 911 emergency.
For purely chemical exposure here in the US, the number you want to call is 1-800-222-1222. That routes you directly to the US Poison Control Center. It's an absolutely incredible resource. Your call is completely anonymous, and it drops you right on the line with a doctor or a nurse at your state center who will walk you through exactly what to do.
Section 5. Back to reality.
So, what happened to our guy? Well, after getting checked out in the emergency room, the doctors assured him he'd make a full physical recovery. He survived the whole ordeal. But unfortunately for AC, he totally failed to evolve. No ascension to a higher plane of existence, no superpowers. Instead, his ultimate fate was realizing he simply had to wake up and log right back into his mundane corporate job the very next day.
It's kind of wild to think about, right? We surround ourselves with these strange, complex chemicals every single day, and we usually just take their safety for granted. Or, if you're AC, you look right at a blatant warning label and take it as a personal challenge. So it really makes you wonder, what are you keeping in your emergency kit? Before you try to unlock the next level of human evolution, maybe just stick to a strong cup of coffee. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and stay curious.